Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to be laying out, assembling, and tipping up using the Gator's winch, tipping up the west partition wall. One of the first things I need to do is get my big old plate level up onto the face of that truss and drop a plumb line on these girts here, draw a plumb line on them and cut those off at the plumb line. We need a board going right here, which is actually the first stud in the wall, like on that side. On that side it was put in and then we put the girts up to it, but this side is already in, so I'm gonna have to cut that. I got to cut the bottom and top plate and get all that laid out. And I believe, yeah, we have 2 cut here and the rest of them need to be cut. This stuff is all being returned from here that way. Okay, if you didn't see the last wall, this was tipped up using a winch, and that strap up there, unfortunately, I left that in place. I should have got that out of there before I moved all this stuff over here, but I'll have to get up there and get that out and put it on over here. Where is, there it is. This is what I'll be using as my pulley. This is a snatch block for the Gator, and this is generally used to pull the Gator out of like a tight situation. If you slid down into a ditch or something, you put a strap like that around a tree and hook it to this, and then you put your winch line through it and back to the Gator, and you get a whole lot of pulling power. But we're going to use it to tip up the wall. All right, I'm not exactly sure how much of this I'm going to film. You can go back and watch this wall being done and tipped up, but I'm not real sure how much I filmed on that. I didn't produce that video yet. I'll try to show as much as possible, but I really got to get this done today. We have like, what is it, 4 or 5 days of nice weather left, and then it starts getting cold again. So let's get to work and get that plumb line drawn. All right, I'm going to use a combination of my Johnson 4-foot level and my Stabila 7-foot level, and between the two of them, this shouldn't be too hard. Got our saw set just a little bit deeper than the thickness of the wood. And that'll do it. All right, well that's pretty comforting. The length of this stud is exactly the same length as the one on the other side, which means everything's going good. What I'm going to do now is get that stud cut along with all the other ones. I'll get the top and bottom plate cut as well. Then I'll come back and we'll get this in. It's probably 3 hours since I started this video. The sun went away and it got really windy. It's starting to get pretty cold out there. I got all of my studs cut. I got the one that goes on the end sitting right there. I got the top and bottom plate cut. I have them laid out and I have the holes drilled. So I'm just going to move this out of the way and get this in first. Then we can just start assembling. GoPro stop recording. Probably should show you what I'm doing before I get too far ahead of myself. I cut up all of the jack studs, cripples, the header pieces, and my blocking, just the blocking that needs to get in while I'm assembling it. I'll show you right here. Because this side of this stud is covered by this jack stud, I want to screw through this king stud into this blocking before I put this stuff together. Same thing on this side, and then same thing on here. This header is just two 2x4s on the flat. None of this is load bearing. So what I got to do is assemble these cripples to the top board, then put the bottom board in place, and then screw the two together. Hope that makes sense. And then the rest of this I can just screw together, and I can put all of these other blocking in later because both ends of them will be open. Okay, so I'm going to start with this stud right here, work my way over until I get somewhere in the area of the door, then start assembling that stuff, get the door assembled, and then get that last stud in. Then once all that's in, I'll put the top plate on and we'll tip this thing up. That's going to be pretty interesting. Okay, and to assemble this, I need a little stack of shims. I'm going to go get them and I will meet you back at this. I don't know if I explained this on the other wall or not, but what I do is just get my stud into place, feel the top, see if it's flush. It's usually not, and I'm kneeling on this sole plate so it doesn't move around and it's as low as it's going to go. So if it's not flush, put the shims under it, get it flush. Then I put a screw at the top, closer to the top. And once you get the first screw in, a lot of times it'll move the board a little bit. I forgot my hammer. I'm going to tap this over a little bit on the bottom, and then we'll move on to the next one. I'm going to come along at the end and countersink a little bit in the center, and we'll put a big GRK, or what is that, GRX or GRK? One of the two. We'll put a big one of those in. I'll show you that as well. Again, the second screw goes towards the bottom. And these are number 10 by 3 3/4 construction screws. That is dead flush and it's square to the sole plate. Now I'll move on to the next one. Just move all my stuff down and work my way down to the other end. This board has a fairly good twist to it, so I'll show you how I get the twist out. Just start the screw, then take a wood clamp and tighten it on like that, and then this needs to turn this way, so I just lift up on this handle. Let me show you that. And there you go. Easy peasy. Perfect. This is the first jack stud. Get it into place and take our clamp again. And snug it up. Now, with it snug like that, we'll screw it through the bottom, and that'll get rid of that little gap right there. Now I can move my way down and connect the jack stud to the king stud. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for today. The sun's already down and I'm pretty exhausted. So we'll pick this up again tomorrow, get that top plate on, and do whatever I need to do, like go get that strap and move it over to here. We'll tip this up and get it anchored in place. Looking good though. Yeah, I gotta rejuvenate this chalk line a little bit too, I think. Maybe not. We'll see. All right, we'll get back to this tomorrow. All right, it's the next day, and I'm going to start by throwing my countersinks in the middle of all these screws here and putting these GRK fasteners in. All right, we're in the home stretch now. I just got to screw on that top plate, then we can tip this wall up. All right, we're all ready to go. I have my blocking for the top, my driver, I have the screws in my pocket, smaller ladder here. I think I've thought of everything. Okay, now I just got to go get my wife and have her at the controls of the winch. And as she's winching it up, I need to lift it, otherwise it's going to slide. It didn't slide at all last time, and I had a bunch of concrete blocks to stop it from sliding. If I don't have to, I don't want to put all them concrete blocks out there. They're kind of heavy. Okay, let's do this. All right, that went real well. Now, I'll take my dead blow hammer and tap it until it's right on the line. Then I'll take some shims on the end here. It's 3/8 of an inch shy of the wall. Once I get it on the line, I'll tap shims in there until this gap closes up. Once that's closed, I'll put the wood clamp on it to hold it in place, drill my hole, and put an anchor in there. Then I'm going to put some shims on the top plate and push the top plate over and kind of do the same thing up there, and then start blocking it in up there. Then, after double checking everything, I'll come along and drill all my holes and put all the Tapcons in. And to finish things off, I'll take the winch off, of course, and get the strap right away this time, and then just put some temporary bracing just like on that side. I'll get the permanent bracing in all at one time on a different day. I just pulled this joint together with a clamp. I don't know what I was thinking before, but I got all of my cleats in. It's nice and flush now. Now I can just go along and tap it over to the chalk line, bolt it in place, and that'll be it for today. All right, big milestone. The partition wall is completely in. A lot of work left to do on it, but that's for another day. The next thing is the joists. I'll be running the joists all the way to the back wall, getting the joists above the door, and then I'll be insulating and wiring for lights back there. I should be able to get all of that done in, less than a week. So once that's done, we are almost ready for the ceiling. I'll have to think about it and see if there's anything else that I missed, but that should be right around it. So, if you want to see that stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.